Welcome back everyone. This is going to be my wrap-up of the things we want for Aliens Fireteam. I have been reading the community feedback in various sources and I feel like the community is all together with this game. We all want the game to succeed and not to turn out to be as another generic zombie horde shooter. That's why I'm making this wrap-up video so that we can discuss and hopefully developers will hear our concerns. We are starting off with one of the most discussed topic, which is the motion tracker. Many believe that the motion tracker shouldn't always be visible. Instead, the player should decide either or not to use it, and maybe it could only be used by several seconds before shutting down to recharge the battery. This, however, would only be true for higher difficulty levels and only the Recon could use this item. By restricting the motion tracker to the Recon class would make Aliens Fireteam a more strategic co-op online game, instead of mindlessly shooting everything that moves. Basically, the motion tracker only makes sense at some points of the game, because in the heat of the battle we don't even pay attention to it. Allowing the tracker to pick up random items in-game like medkits and crates, but not identify them until it's viewed by the player, could help keep suspense up. There was someone that brought this explanation for the motion tracking being always on screen. The game is designed around the fact that the colonial marines are now aware of the Xenomorphs and prepared for them. Motion trackers, for example, would have been set up to become part of the HUD. But let me know what you think. Should the motion tracker be always on? I think it shouldn't because it makes the game easier by taking the fear factor of being ambushed. Therefore, people will just rush the map and be done with it and leave the game after beating all levels. Speaking of motion tracker, it seems to me that classes should have their own set of items and functions in the team, which brings us to the next topic. Each class has its own special abilities and perks. And you can have multiple characters with the same class at the same mission, which might imply that anyone can use the motion tracker, so why use Recon or Doc, since anyone can heal themselves? It's confirmed that Gunner can double fire rate, decrease reloading times and make the armor stronger for the entire team. Damn. That's a team must-have, right? Demolisher has a AoE blast wave to clear the Xenomorph's hordes in tough situations. Again, a must-have in my opinion. And what about the Technicians? It's the only class that can deploy an automatic rotating turret. You will always want this one in your team, right? Again, a must-have. So what's going to be the use of the Doc and Recon classes? Anyway, you can have multiple characters with the same class. Be aware though that some weapons can only be wielded by given classes. Now, because you can have multiple characters with the same class, that means you should pay close attention for what you're going to bring to battle. Why do you even feel the need to use the motion tracker if you can clearly see the map? One of the things that the community pointed out was the lack of darkness and ominous atmosphere known from the aliens. This would force the use of flares like in the Alien Isolation. Also, the regular difficulty doesn't seem to pose much of a threat, according to some people. Maybe, just maybe, it wouldn't be so bad to see some busted doors here and there, flickering lights, messed up rooms, scratches, blood or even malfunction androids, or human corpses lying there with their chests wide open. After all, Xenomorphs are famously messy creatures. How are we supposed to emerge if we can clearly see the spot where the action is going to play out? The community has spoken. The Xenomorph spawning should be more unpredictable, like randomly breaking the floor and appearing in the vents on the walls, or above us, just like in the Aliens movie where they barricade themselves. A lot of people agree that Xenomorphs must be able to randomly break the lights and cut the power, changing the course of the entire mission. Let's face it, we do not want to fight off these creatures with the entire facility under red lights and a loud alarm noise, right? That would attract even more attention to us. So, now, you are forced to find out the kill switch and turn the energy back on. Is this a scary thought for you? Let me know in the comments. Xenos Elf shouldn't be shown at higher difficulties, and even in this case I think only the special Xenomorphs should have it, but that's my opinion anyway. It would be nice to have a last stand game mechanic where you could keep firing your pistol until one of your teammate saves you, but Xenomorphs could still cancel the rescue and kill your teammate. That's real danger right there. Players are really worried about the replayability, giving some good ideas such as reaching out a point where you get outnumbered so hard that you are forced to find out another way. It would be possible to break through them, but your team is just too weak at the moment, so the technician says, "Hey, We have to double back and search another way out of this mess. Give me covering fire while I open this door. Wouldn't that be rad? One key feature for this game to be kept alive would be adding the PvP, where you could play as any Xenomorph and even play as the facehugger to immobilize players. Developers could also give the community the ability to make custom maps. Since the game will be available on Steam, the workshop option would make room for new maps to be discovered and played on. What about making different types of missions? Not all missions might be necessarily shooting hundreds of Xenomorphs. What about having stealth missions, alien isolation vibe, to retrieve important intel and at the end you must face the Queen? Or even a replica of the Alien Free where you must trap one Xenomorph. What do you think about these ideas? We also want the option to remove some HUD elements like the giant red X upon killing an enemy. Once hitting an HP threshold would make us move slower, and reloading time would be affected too, forcing you to heal up before going into battle. The lack of animation at Technician Sentry's gun setup has room for improvement. From what we saw in the gameplay, there's only a smoke effect and the weapon poof, magically appears. The community also reported that enemies feel like they are following linear paths, even in huge rooms where you should be worried they will be all over the place. The rooms seem to have way too many resources, but this must be because they were playing in regular mode. We think we deserve better death animations for the aliens. They just don't look natural. There's just no sense for Marines to have two large weapons. The reason why is players must carefully think what class they are going to choose. Someone gave the idea of making the warrior a more patient creature, willing to let its own kind die and striking only when the player goes below a certain HP percentage. Add more interactive elements like gas pipes when shot at will prevent Xenomorphs from passing through, or at least making them slower. The community, myself included, would also love for the game to feature dismembering, where even if you blow an alien arm off, it wouldn't stop it from trying to kill you, or it could simply run away. Some sort of kidnap cutscene or instant kill against the players like we had on AVP would also be fun. We do have a confirmation of a quick time event where Xenomorph jump on us. This is the wrap up of the things we want for the Aliens Fireteam. Hope you liked it. Next time I'll try to do better and I'll see you in the next one.